Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to new episode program guest from Palestine. Today we have a special guest. She's recently come back from Palestine. Welcome to Claire.
Thank you very
How
much.
are you, Claire?
Good, good.
How's things? Claire,
Thank you
could
very
you please tell me about yourself?
So I would have grown up in Ballyea, which is a few miles out the road. I think you might know someone from there, Tony Kelly. He was captain
We've
of
been there,
he was the captain of the All-Ireland winning team. And so it's a big hurling parish. And so that's where I would have played camogie. So I hadn't played camogie in a long time before I went out to the West Bank. So I'm working as a social care worker. But obviously the goal is to work on humanitarian projects. That's why I went back to university. And that's what I would love to do, because I know that's where my strengths lie. Unfortunately, I had to come out from Lebanon earlier than expected, but hopefully I'll get to go to Gaza and the West Bank hopefully again soon. I love going to the gym and when I get there. So I was there this morning, that's why I didn't have anything to go. And I'm a big Liverpool fan. Actually, they're playing in a while. Thank you for having me.
How was your visit in Palestine? Can you explain to us? Can you share the experience, please?
So my most recent one, or
no, the last one, visit.
Okay, so the last visit was probably the best visit, because we actually got to stay in the camp, and I've never ever received such hospitality in my life. I was saying last week, the Irish people think they're the most hospitable in the world, but no, I'm sorry. The Palestinians are going to beat you.
You feel about the Palestinian hospitality, the people,
yeah. Oh my
they are so kind there.
It was amazing. From the moment we got there, they just couldn't do enough for us. And obviously we were in the camp, and they just made us feel so welcome. And, you know, I think I actually put on weight out there again with all the food I was.
And you know, the camp, it's difficult to stay at the camp, and it's so hard. Is that right? Even there, the people there are laughing, playing. Can you please give me some memories from there, from the camp, from your memories?
Basically, they're so close and tight-knit, and their spirit. I mean, if you were to just go walk with the people in the camp, you would not think that that they weren't going through what they're going through, because they never complain. They welcome you. You're our guest. We want to show you how they live considering the circumstances and the challenges they face every single day. And obviously now, since we've come back, it's got so much worse. I don't know. Basically, I think if that was anyone else in the world, they would not be able to survive it. But I think the Palestinians have this inherent thing in them: their spirit, their sense of community, and their just resilience and resistance to, and they just go about life. And I mean, you could be in there, like there could be an attack any minute. The children are amazing. They're probably the most well-behaved children I've ever met, in terms of even in the camps in Lebanon, the Palestinian children. Every time I meet the Palestinian children, I'm just in awe of them. I can't, I'm lost for words to describe them.
Yeah. And I see many picture, many video recently about the hurling.
Oh, the hurling, GA.
GA, So I see that. Lovely share. But you know, the hurling, it's not public in our Arabic world.
Yeah.
So what's the idea about the hurling in Palestine?
I suppose sport brings people together. So no matter what race, religion, what political beliefs you have, sport will bring people together. And I guess the GA Palestine, it originally came about, it's a year now, last January, Stephen Redmond went out to the West Bank, and he's a big GA man. And I presume you've seen now how you were here, obviously, when Claire won. So how big GA is in every single corner of Ireland. And I suppose we want to, to utilise that and just try and share that with the Palestinian, especially the children, and build up relationship, build up bonds. But in terms of the hurling, I think initially people asked me, why didn't you go out and teach them Gaelic? First of all, I can't play Gaelic, and I would not traumatise the children even more by teaching them a sport that I know nothing about. It was hard enough for me to go back to camogie, but they seen the hurleys, and that was it. I don't think I'd be able to bring out a Gaelic football there now, because they just wanted the hurleys. That was it. They fell in love with it. So that's then how we need hurleys. So we're actually, the hurleys now are being made in the West Bank. So
And I see the kids there. They are happy, really. They're excited to learn about this sport.
Yeah, because I think when we first, obviously when I was there like in July, I brought out the Hurleys, just introduced them to the game. It was very early in the process. We had maybe about 15 children, different ages. So obviously then I went out again last month, and we had about 40. And I'm getting like I get videos every single day from training, and just to see how they've come on. And obviously when we were there, myself and Cathal, we were training them, and we didn't have much access to green areas. So we were just showing them the basics. But then on the very last day, we got to play a game of hurling on the pitch. And then I think they realised, wow, this is a really exciting, like fast-paced sport. And now we're getting messages they're in the green area all the time. So we've been given some different green areas in the West Bank. Unfortunately, one of them was destroyed in Tulkarm. I'm not sure about the one in Janine with what's going on at the moment. But we'll keep fighting, and we'll keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah. And I remember one day, Claire, you sent me a video from Gaza. You remember that kid? He removed his bed wood to make the Hurley. What we call that?
Oh, so the Hurley, So because obviously.
So now it's going to Gaza. So it's become popular now in Palestine.
Well, obviously that would be the dream to take it to Gaza. With the ceasefire, I know when I say ceasefire, I say it very loosely. But I'm hoping to go out to Gaza in a few months, so I'll definitely be burning as many Hurleys as I can in, and especially to give one to that. I can't remember his name. It's in my head now. Obviously, he'll be getting the first Hurley because he had seen a video. I think it was from when I was in the West Bank in Ramallah, and he obviously he saw the sport and wanted to play it. So look, hopefully it'll be across Palestine. Yeah.
And who support the GAA Palestine from Ireland?
So initially it was just a small group of us, and then when the videos started coming back of the children training,
it's a personal effort.
It's volunteers. The GAA in Ireland is all volunteer. It's an amateur sport. But now the first club in Ramallah, that will come under the umbrella of World GAA. So they'll be affiliated, which means that they will be like, say, a GAA club in Dubai or a GAA club in Kuwait. So then they will get, they'll be up to a certain standard. So we have coaches now that will be going out, hopefully, every month. And then we have the children coming, inshallah, in July. There's a big group with the children coming with their trainers for a summer tour. And that should be around the time of the All-Ireland, and hopefully Claire will be in it again.
I hope so. Yeah. I see a certificate from Fajr organization. I remember I've been there to their event in Dublin, and I feel proud to meet Dr. Muhammad Tahir. So could you please give me information about the Fajr organization and about Dr. Muhammad Tahir, especially Dr. Muhammad Tahir? We see on social media when I think his permit finished in Gaza, and they says you have to leave the Gaza, and he says no. So can you please explain to us?
So I would have joined Fajr back in last May, and the reason I joined Fajr was I was trying to get out to Gaza because I had been in Palestine in 2019, and I went back to university, studied for 4 years so that I could go out there in a professional capacity and work in the camps, because I had been in the camps, and it's just something I think I was born to do. Anyone that sees me working out there says it. So I was obviously, October the 7th happened, and watching the absolute depravity and horror, I just felt very powerless. So I was trying to go out. I was applying for jobs, but I don't have any experience, only as a volunteer. So they were looking for professional experience, obviously, for Gaza. So then I found Fajr, and it was actually through a video that Dr. Tahir put up in April. Fajr would have been pretty kind of low key at that stage, and then he just put up a video, and it resonated with me, just like to see his face and what he was going through. And I contacted him, and next thing I'm organising the event in Dublin. I'm going to the West Bank. I couldn't go to Gaza because it's obviously people that are medically trained. But so with Fajr, we did the first psychosocial project. That's what that cert is. in the West
It's
Bank.
2 months, right? I remember on the event, Dr. Tahir, the first mission in Gaza been for 2 months.
So no, I think the first mission, I'm trying to get, because he's done 3 missions, but this mission. So this last mission, he left shortly after our event in Dublin.
Yeah.
He left on October the 1st with Dr. Jeremy, and there was another doctor from Egypt. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
And Dr. Jeremy stayed for a month, but Dr. Tahir, I think, as far as I know, has taken a leave of absence from his work in England.
Yeah.
And he said he'd stay on an extra month, but because of the situation in Gaza, I think when they're in Gaza, you feel, because like I said, you're made to feel so welcome, like you're part of a family. And I suppose there's that, maybe you could call it guilt, that if you left and something would happen to them. You know, there's that fear. And I suppose when you do come back after being in a war zone, and I know from Lebanon, you know, you're always very anxious about, are they okay, are they safe, especially with what's going on in Lebanon now. And I'm talking to my friends out there. So I can imagine he must have been torn with having to go home to his family or to stay in Gaza, which he did. And he came home, he got back to London on Saturday, because my friend actually was there to meet him. They had a small party for him in one of the Palestinian restaurants in London. So I think he'll probably go back. I'd imagine he'll go back. I would, because Fajr are actually, after being approved by the Jordanian government for the hospital. It's a big
Jordanian hospital.
It's for it's Fajr Hospital.
Fajr Hospital.
But they've received approval, so that should be going in hopefully in April. And I've also I obviously threw my name in the ring. So because of the psychosocial aspect and because I have experience now between the West Bank and Lebanon, I would hope as well, inshallah, to be going out in April. Yeah.
In April, April.
Yeah, but obviously April is a long time away when you think about the current situation. It changes every hour, every day, and unfortunately, it's so unpredictable, and the Israelis just could do anything. So I'll keep the faith and hope that the ceasefire is still there, and that I'll get the opportunity, and I'm hoping as well that anyone who has any medical training or any psychological training will go out there and help the people in not just Gaza, in the West Bank, in Jenin, in Tulkarm, in Al Khalil.
To be clear, they will allow they will allow people to join hospital in Gaza or even West Bank.
So in terms of the West Bank, I think it's probably going to be more difficult. Obviously with Gaza, they have to allow international people in, professionals and hopefully volunteers. I don't know what the situation is going to be like, but I mean, they have to rebuild it, the healthcare, the infrastructure, the psychological. You would imagine that that's part of the ceasefire agreement, that they will let these organisations in. So in my heart, I'm hoping that enough people will come in to Gaza and the West Bank, and hopefully that will keep the Palestinians somewhat safe, because with what's been spoken about in the last few days and from what I've seen in the West Bank and obviously in Gaza on the TV, I'd be very, very deeply concerned about everyone out there. It's not a good situation.
During your visit to Palestine, I know every day you have many friends, and every day you're going, and every day you live their life. Let's say, give me something happened there you will never forget. Maybe you are laughing for that. Maybe you cry. I need to feel something really from Palestine.
Well, from probably something that's never happened to me, or Cahill, he was the other trainer that was with me.
Yeah.
So when we were out there and we had to travel, we went to Al Khalil and we went to Bethlehem, and it took hours, and so we didn't get back until late. And we said, you know what, now we'll go and get our own food, because they had been doing everything for us. And I said, we'll go up to the camp now. So obviously in the camp they have little businesses, and I said we'll let them know when we've eaten, because we didn't want them to feel, they had looked after us every day for every meal. And it was late at night, and we were saying, look, we'll go and sort ourselves out. So we went into this like a little kind of cabin, in the camps, like a hut where it was a young fella, maybe he was about 17, cooking up meat, and we were like, oh, can we get some food? And next thing, they all start coming in. They knew us, but it was, the Irish are here and coming in.
You mean they make around when you're eating?
No, so because obviously you're kind of sitting on the streets, and so they could hear us and see us, so that we had a little, like our little posse. And the young fella that was working was saying, oh, it's going to take 15 or 20 minutes to cook. We were like, oh, no, that's fine. And oh my God, it was the most beautiful meat I have had in I don't know how long. But of course, word got around.
Why you feel it's
it
beautiful?
Was just the way it was so authentic, and just the juices, and it was just, oh my God, like I was like, it was heaven. And it was just like proper meat, properly cooked. And of course, word got around, the next thing the trainers, why didn't you tell us you were back? We could have made you dinner. We're like, no, we want to give something back to the camp.
Yeah.
We want to support the businesses in the camp. We want to support the people that we're meeting every day. Because when we used to go into one of the coffee shops, they would not take any money off us.
Oh.
They were, no,
they will not accept. They're fighting.
No, and we were like,
they were fighting with you. No, don't pay.
You're our guest.
Yeah.
So what we did there was we left a tip. And I don't think the young fella realised until we had left. And we had went to one of the trainers' house, because the hospitality, again, they bring you to the house for dessert and for, as I call it, the 5 course of refreshments. So when you go into the house, you get the coffee, then you get the bottle of water, then you get the juice, then you get the cup of tea, and then when they want you to leave, very politely, you get another cup of coffee, because that's cute to leave.
The coffee is very important.
Oh yeah,
for us.
and I'm not a coffee drinker, but you can't say no. You can't say no.
Yeah.
I've been told I don't need coffee.
Yeah, and how about the food in the street?
Oh yeah,
falafel, shawarma,
yeah,
all manaqish.
Oh yeah,
all these things.
Like.
Yeah.
I still have to, but in that
you feel something different, right? About that food.
The food it's beautiful, and you feel so good after it.
And it's simple.
Yeah, no, but the trouble that everyone went to in terms of making sure we were fed. But in that instance, like I was saying, we went into the house and we were there maybe 2.5 hours, and we came out, and the young fella was standing there, and he's like, I can't take this in Arabic, the tip.
Yeah,
he waited outside the house for 2.5 hours.
Oh my God, he will return the tip again.
No, I can't take that. We were like,
he says you're my guest.
We were just standing there with our mouths open going,
Wow.
It was like going to a restaurant. Can you imagine going to a restaurant in a country, in anywhere else in the world? And now this was meat and a meal like we'd never had before. It was cooked with love. And he waited 2.5 hours outside. I was gobsmacked. I was just like, I felt so guilty then. It's like, he's waited here. Just things like that you never ever have in your life.
Oh, yeah.
That was just one little, I could tell you hundreds of stories between the camps in Lebanon, because I was based in Palestinian camps in Lebanon, in the West Bank, and I'm sure when I go to Gaza as well, I'll have similar stories.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
Yeah, clear. Also, I see many things here from your home about Lebanon.
Yeah.
So I know that you've been in Lebanon on the last war, and the situation is very hard and it's very dangerous, and we are always text you, checking you, what's going on.
I've gotten given out about that, about we wouldn't know if Claire was alive, only she's putting stuff up on Instagram even for my family. Like, okay, relax.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're there, but because of the projects I was doing, I was trying to show what, the work we were doing every day with the camps and the connection.
For Palestinian camps?
Yeah, so only Palestinian camps, yeah. But in say Ain el Hilwe, which is the biggest Palestinian camp, I think in
Ain el Hilwe.
Yeah. That had 100,000 and maybe even more during the war. So you had Syrian and Lebanese people as well, but mainly Palestinian. So I would have worked there a good bit, and then I was based out of Al Hamshari Hospital, Palestinian hospital.
Yeah.
And then we would have went to is it Sabra and Shatila?
Sabra and Shatila.
Yeah. And then we went to Tripoli, to the camps in Tripoli. I can't remember their names. I'm so bad. So all in all, I think I went to about 6 camps in Lebanon. We were meant to go to the Sur camps down south, but because the ceasefire, then obviously the roads were all.
And you see the Palestinian people through the 15 months ago, through the war, but some don't understand that. You see you see the airstrike, maybe tons of the, of the bomb.
Yeah.
and they want to displace the people, but they says no. Again, we will back. This is our land. I see many videos for people. You know, they just bring the tent and they put above the destroyed house, and they say we will live here. Yeah. We will not displace again. Yeah. So now the people, you know, they have good idea about good knowledge, let's say, about the war. If they leave country, they will never get back again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's the one thing. And I think Israel and the US, and they underestimate the Palestinians' resilience. And the one thing that I would hope now is the world, they can see this is the plan all along. And I would hope to God that the Arab rulers would finally come together and go, not allow this to happen. Because unless they're blind, but the soldiers have a map of Greater Israel with many of their countries on it. Yeah. Egypt, Jordan, parts of Saudi Arabia, Syria, like obviously Lebanon, I'm not on about the Lebanese army, but people in Lebanon have helped the Palestinians. So it's like, why would you help the people that are trying to steal your land and resources? Because you're next, basically. Yeah. So exactly. It's just, well, look, the gloves are off, as they say. He basically has said what they plan on doing. And if the rest of the world thinks that this is acceptable, I think humanity is dead, but hopefully there is a shred of something in people where they go, this is enough. Yeah.
So, Claire, I have a question. Really, I'm looking for a question. Yeah. Every time I ask my guest this question, okay, maybe we can get a good answer for that. You know, we see many march in Europe and USA and many places in the world supporting Palestine. But here, I feel something different in Ireland. So I feel the people, they're very close. The relation more complex, let's say, and the people love each other more. So what's the reason for that?
Well, I know me personally, I can't pinpoint the first time I heard about Palestine, so I must have been very young, because we would have been always brought up about Palestine. So when people ask me, I go, it was just always there. It's like, you know, something that I've always been told about Palestine, so I can't pinpoint the first time. But in terms of the Irish connection and solidarity, I think it goes back to basically the same players who starved the Irish, Lord Balfour, the Black and Tans. So you're talking about the same people who would have tortured and starved and massacred my ancestors, who 76 years ago decided to give the Israelis, the Zionists, part of Palestine. And it's the same, it's colonization, apartheid. I mean, the Irish went through 800 plus years. The one issue I have with a lot of Irish people, they seem to have forgotten their history. And I think you're meant to learn from your history, and don't forget about your history, because that's part of who we are. You know, people go, oh, would you get over it? Okay, I would maybe get over it if the same people are not doing similar. Like, I mean, you can see what it's about: land, resources. So I would get over it if colonization was gone. Then I would get over it. But if it still continues to this day, and it depends on depending on the color of your skin or what religion you are, whether you will have a safe and privileged life. So I get over it when that's all eradicated from this world. Yeah. So
that's clear. By the end, what is your message to Palestinian people?
To the Palestinian people, I think the Palestinian people have taught the world so much. And my message to them is, we admire and love you so much. And I've never ever met a people like them. I don't think I ever will. And I know it's very, very difficult. I have a lot of friends out there, even in the West Bank at the moment. On Saturday night, I was chatting to Mohammed, and his 2-year-old nephew came on the video chat and was talking about bombs. There was bombs. The Zionists were outside. There was bombs. And how the Palestinians can continue to just keep smiling, keep up the spirits when this is going on. I get messages, how are you, Claire? How are things? And I'm like, we can learn so much from the Palestinian people. So much. I'm in awe of the Palestinian people. And my message is basically, I hope that the power of the people in 2025 will defeat the people in power, and that we get back our humanity and people actually wake up to what's really going on in the world, and that Palestine will be free, and any other countries that are under colonization or apartheid or under the rule of these so-called billionaires who think that people's lives is just a game of chess, that this will be all eradicated and people wake up to it.
And by the end, we have a big thanks to Clear. Thanks for guesting us. Big thanks for Jamal behind the camera. Thanks for the people who will share and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much and have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Hello, thank you for watching the episode. My name is Muhammad. My friend Jamal is behind the camera. We have many ideas for creating contents, but we need your support to develop them. Even it's just a small help, it will be useful. Scan the code and click on the support link for more details. Thank you.